Hi, welcome to Cowtown Colorworks. My name is Lori, otherwise known as My Cat Pearl on Instagram and Ravelry, and that's MyCatPurl. Today is Sunday, June 12th. I wrote it down. I'm coming to you from my home outside of Columbus in Ohio, where I live with my mom and my cat, Wellington. He's cute. I think he was on a couple times. I got an extra bonus. I got some stuff done. So I thought I would record this week and be a good podcaster. Because I have a lot going on, so I thought I would just get it out there so we don't have too much of a backlog on the next one. So today we're going to talk about life in Ohio. I have some finished objects. Some works in progress. I'll announce the giveaway, although I've already made contact with her on Instagram. Next up on my needles and some stash dash numbers, which I'll go over with my finished objects. What's going on in Ohio? Well, I mean, there's not a whole heck of a lot going on. The weather has been beautiful. If you follow me on Instagram, I went on a ride this morning with my brother. We did a 16-mile bike ride on the Olentangy Trail. And it basically goes through the Worthington, which is on the northern side of the city, all the way to downtown Columbus and back. So if you did the whole entire trail, I think it's like 38 miles. You can add some extra when you're downtown, and then go back up. So we started at Hills Market, which is in Westerville. That's the north side of Columbus, or Worthington, I'm sorry. And we're riding along. We didn't know how far we were going to go, but in my mind, I was like, we'll do a nice 18-20 mile ride. You know, we've done a couple 16, a couple 20, and then on Thursday nights or Wednesday, Thursday, we also ride. We got about an eighth of a mile in and come across this stop, close, hazard. I was like, what the heck? And then it came to me, I didn't see any other bikes in the parking lot. And this is a very popular trail, very popular for bikers, families, kids, nobody there. And then a couple minutes later, we're standing there staring at like some divine intervention is going to answer all of our questions. And then another biker came by, and he didn't know either, so I didn't feel quite so silly. But like, apparently, I need to check the trail statuses before I leave my home at 7:30 in the morning. So we jumped on the highway, went to the next trailhead down, and we started there. But we did get to ride downtown to the Shoe. Which is where the Buckeyes play, Ohio State campus. So we rode down there, and I've mentioned before, he and I both work at the Schottenstein Center, which is on campus. That's where they have concerts, men's basketball, women's basketball, and hockey play. And this weekend coming up is the Buckeye Country Fest. It's a 2-day country music extravaganza. It goes from 3 in the afternoon until like 11 at night, and the headliners on Saturdays Lady Antebellum and Sundays Luke Bryant, but there's different acts building up. And he knew one of the girls that was basically babysitting the Shoe. There's an entrance where the setup crews come in, and she checks ID and makes sure they're all should be there, and she just kind of hangs out all day and waits till the overnight shift comes in. So we rode down there. She let us in the gates. We took a fun picture with us. Let me see if I can find it real quick. With us, with the field behind us. And then we borrowed the bathroom because that's really why I wanted it. I was like, I got a potty. Had our little snack. I mean, it was nice. And then we headed back up the trail. So we only ended up getting like 17 miles. You can't really see, but that's my brother and I. And behind... there's too much glare. Behind us is the Shoe, and it's shaped like a horseshoe, and that's why they call it the Shoe. And we got to take some fun pictures. I have iced tea today. I love iced tea this time. In my Tervis cup, and these are goldfish swimming around my cup, because who doesn't? I named him Abraham, even though Abraham on Different Strokes was a black fish, but his name is Abraham. And it's just a little fun Tervis cup. I have to rehydrate because it was very warm today. And one thing about bike riding that a lot of folks don't understand is you don't really actively sweat. I know it sounds kind of gross, but you're not, because you're riding and there's wind and you're wearing wick-away material, you don't know how much fluid you're losing until you stop, and all of a sudden it's not evaporating off your skin. And I also got some, I go back to the dermatologist, but some red from the sun. Then I came home, grabbed my mom, and we jumped in the pool for a little while. Then went grocery shopping. I went to Aldi. I love Aldi. If you have an Aldi near you, you know, I feel like it's changed. It's kind of got a bad rap, but I love Aldi. They really have some nutritious, reasonably priced food and produce. Now, I didn't really buy a lot of produce because I use my little farm stand right by my house. I want to buy local when I can. But they have a line like Fit and Active. They've got gluten-free, and they have regular stuff, but I believe they've gone no GMO. And there's not a whole lot in the store, but I did get today, which I'm so excited. I'm grilling chicken for my lunch this week. And they have these packages of different grains, and I got 5 grain. And this is spelt barley, wheat, rice, and whole grain oats. So, I don't know if I can show it to you, but I have opened the package. Well, not really, but there. Oops. It's honestly just all these raw oats. I cooked mine in chicken stock. It took 10 minutes. You drain off any extra liquid, and then I squeeze, sorry for the crinkling, I squeeze a lemon, just a half-cut lemon over the grain, and while it's cooling, it just soaks up that lemony flavor, and then later I'll make a lemon vinaigrette. And I'm cooking broccoli and whole, farm-grown green beans, and I got green onion and a bell pepper, and I have some zucchini I grilled last night in the fridge. I'll dice that up, and I'll blanch the broccoli so I don't really cook it too much. Grill up some chicken, and that's lunch. I love it. Okay, so there's that. And what else is going on in Ohio? Not a whole lot. My she cave, I like craft mecca better. My craft space is a hot disaster area. I was sewing. I'll show you that in a little bit. But I had some fabric that I bought, and I wanted to make some bags, and so I'm kind of doing some rearranging. I'm going to bring down a bigger bookshelf. At first I'm like, I don't need to store my yarn to see it. Yeah, I need to store my yarn to see it because I will lose it. And that can't happen. I can't be losing my yarn. And I don't remember what I have. So I keep buying more. So yeah, that's what's going on in Ohio. Summer's here. Oh, I love it. I'm going to grill. I love summer. Ride my bike. July 2nd, my cousins and daughter and a friend and my mom and maybe my brother and his wife. We're not really sure. We're kind of opening it up to whoever. The Columbus Symphony does outside concerts in the summer. Picnic with the Pops is what it's called. And I might have talked about this last week, but there's a fenced area that's green. It's a grassy, knolly area. And then they have a stage, and the symphony plays. You buy tickets, you can go, pack your picnic, bring some wine, bring alcohol, whatever you want, as long as it's not in glass, and enjoy the music. So we're going to go down on the 2nd for their 4th of July celebration. Our Red, White, and Boom, which is what they call it, is on Friday night. We'll go down Saturday night, so hopefully the traffic won't be as bad. Pack a picnic, hang out with my family, do a little knitting, and watch the symphony and some fireworks. So we're kind of excited about that. I have some, I don't know what this is. Oh, barley. I'll just move that over there. Okay, so finished objects. I'm wearing one. I haven't blocked it. For God's sake, I haven't even woven in the ends. I literally just finished it yesterday. It is I need to take it off because I am very, ooh. What is that? What is that? Why is it doing that? Oh. I forgot to lock in my thread. I almost just pulled it out. We cannot be doing that. Let me lock that in. I knew I cut it, but I must not have done that. Okay, so this is my Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli. Fiber. Love knitting this. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it all on here, but this is the starburst end. And again, I have it, or this is the end where you start really all of your rowing. And then they grow. And then they get wider. And wider. And then this beautiful green finishes it off. I love this green. Now the green is some yarn that I dyed. And it was 75% merino nylon, merino wool, 5% stellina, 25% nylon. So it's a little bit of a sparkle to it, although I can see it. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, and I might have overheated it a little bit and lost some of my sparkle. And then this is Knit Picks hand paint in the County Fair. It definitely has a little more brighter tones. And then these, you stripe them in. Look at how fun that is. Can you see that? They're like twists. So when I block it, it'll open up. This is beautiful. There, it's so pretty. I'm excited. Now, it called for a loose bind off, so I don't have loose. I mean, I bind off. So I went on, like I do, I went on to YouTube and found a Very Pink Knits tutorial on a stretchy bind off, which it is a totally stretchy bind off. The whole thing is it does flare. I don't know if you can see that. It does flare a little bit. See a little bit of a ruffle to it. I'm hoping this all blocks out, but it is very stretchy. But that little bit of ruffle might make me crazy, but I'm not sure, and I'm hoping I can just block it all out. Doesn't blocking fit everything? So that's my chair. Done. I love it. It's so squishy. It's going to be completely warm. It can be wrapped around my neck, but it is long enough for me, and I'm not a small girl, but I can kind of do like this and a little zhuzh. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let's block it first. Then we'll figure out how I'm going to wear it. So for Stash Dash, I did everything in yards and then I converted. This Pure Joy was 165 grams, so it came in at 726 yards. What? I know. I'm going to fold it up here because it does need to be soaked and blocked and all the funness. I want the green. I wouldn't say it ran, but I did get a little on my hand at one point. So I'm going to get a citric soap just to make sure. So for keeping track, I have for Stash Dash these socks, my Pure Joy, and then I finished the Michigan hat. But I finished it. Super cute. No pattern. I just cast on 96 stitches. I did some rowing. I did, I think these are 5 and 6, 5 and 6, and then 6 and 7, 6 and 7, maybe 6 and 7 again. And then I started my decreasing. So there's just a little bit of an interest in and I did a smallish pom-pom. I'm not sure how much of a large pom-pom. It's for somebody else, so I didn't want to do too big. I like the top. Let's see if I can get you a good view of the top. I did a three decrease section. This was made with Knit Picks Swish Worsted, Honey and Dusk, so that's the blue and the gold, 50 gram balls, 110 yards. So this hat came in at 72 grams, so 158.4 yards, including the pom-pom. I'm including the pom-pom. And that is it. Now I really enjoyed this yarn, especially it was a superwash merino, but it's really squishy and it's kind of soft, and I feel like it'll wash well. She's an adult; she'll get the real wool. The kids, I think I bought one set of hats in this color. My cousin will take care of it. And then it has just the 2x2 ribbing and stripes. Done. In the books for the dash. So that's on my, I'm not going to block that. I don't block hats. Is that bad? Is that like the blocking queen's going to come get me? I don't know. I'm not sure, but done. Bing, gone. And that is it for my finished objects. But that Pure Joy, that last section was a lot of yarn. Because, and I think I have it over here. don't. I have it over here. That's what's left of the cake for the green. So the green used up 70 grams. That's a lot for one stripe. The other one used up almost the whole entire cake. I mean, this is all I have left. So of 200 grams, the Pure Joy was 165. So that's a good two-color, two-scheme project. Little stuff everywhere. So I don't really have a lot of works in progress because I finished 2 of the ones I was actively working on. But I do have my socks. This is a pattern I didn't actually print, but it is part of the Expat Knitting Podcast with Mina. Her Beyond Vanilla sock collection she came out with. There's 4 socks in this collection that I purchased. This one is Gravel. I think I went over it the last time. Let me see that. It's just a fun little bumpy, I don't know what happened there, but pattern. The sock yarn is Grundel, it's German, hot socks, 100 grams. It just says color 6, lot 2926. If there's a name, I don't know what it is. But here's the patterning you're going to get with it. And I'm getting that here. And this is 75, 25, I believe. It's 420 meters. Yeah, 75, 25. And the striping. And this was my first German short row heel. And this is part of the pattern. So there's no heel flap and turn. You're creating a heel using short rows. And they're German short rows. And I had to YouTube that as well. But we'll see. I don't know. It's very pointy. And so we'll see how much stretch. And I haven't tried it on yet. So I don't know. One issue I ran into, which I think was just me, is I got a hole here. And there's some holing going on over here where where you do the German short row. But I think that's again me, and I need to pay a little more attention because it didn't happen on one side; it only happened on the other. And I think it was the purl side that I was having the issue on the short row. So we're here. So right now and they're both. I've done the heel on both. This one, I literally just finished the heel. This one I am working the foot. So I'll work this out until, oh look, that's a good of those stripes. I just think the stripes are fun. I like gray socks. I wanted some shorties. They're not so short. I really have an issue with those socks that are like that short. They slide down my foot and into my shoe, and I don't like that. But I wanted, since it was my first pattern, I wanted to get them to the next step and see how they turn out. It's a knit along that she's having, so I need to have these done by June 27th. So this will become work knitting. I'll bring it to work with me and throw some rows on here on my lunch break. I chose to do the pattern all the way around the foot. On her pattern, on how it's written, she does magic loop. I don't magic loop. Clearly a double point. But what I did is I said, okay, how many stitches do I need? Which is kind of a guess because I went down a needle size. I like the fabric I'm getting on the US ones. And these are Chowgoos that I bought, the red. So they're like the red lace, they're sharp. And this is a 2.25 millimeter US size 1. So I didn't really know how many stitches to cast on. When I did the mini sock, this is 32. So I knew 64 was going to be a problem. Now that's what I normally would cast on. So I actually cast on 80 stitches. And they may be too big. I don't know. I don't like my socks super tight though. So we'll see. If they're too big, I'll give them to like a guy. I feel like men can wear that, right? That's not a women's sock. Or wear them as house slippers. Who knows? But so that's where I'm at. Just kind of working my way down the foot on these. Need to get them done. Oh, and I need to get my Pure Joy photographed and enter that into Hohi's Pure Joy knit along. We gotta do that after. I'll just take a picture of it and put it on my project pages. I'm doing project pages, sort of, now. Okay, the other work in progress that I have, which this is just probably gonna live in this project bag that I took my Pure Joy out of, but I like that I can fold the top down and make it more like a bucket. So it'll sit here. I wanted to do a scrap blanket, but I didn't want to do the mitered, and I didn't want to restrict myself, I guess, to just a specific weight of yarn. I just want to use up my scraps, is what I want to do. You know, I have some worsted, some DK. I probably won't do the lace, and if I do, I'll double. I'll hold it double. I just feel like that might be too thin for a blanket. So what I decided to do is crochet a blanket. And I like the granny square, and I've seen a few of those, but I really like this blanket stitch. It's called the corner to corner, and it's got a fun texture to it, if you can see the raised bumps. But what you do is you start it here. So this is my first little square, and you add it. So I'm really it's growing diagonally. So my stripes aren't going to be stripes, they're going to be on the diagonal. And I didn't use all of the scraps I had for these couple stripes, so I'll pick them up again at some other point. But I didn't want this whole corner to be, I wanted to get into it. Now this is self-striping, so as long as I'm getting some different color variations, I'll use at least one repeat of it. And then when it gets larger, because it grows out this way, and then you can turn your corners at any time. So I can make it a square or a rectangle or a triangle, I suppose. I could just bind it off and call it a shawl. But I wouldn't do that. So I have to grow it as wide as I want, and then I just start turning and growing it up. So at some point I'll be at the halfway point. Some of these, like this brown I got in my Jimmy Bean wool bag, and it's a single in like a brownish gold. This was something I dyed. This is Barocco sock. So honestly, I'm just throwing scraps in this bag, and I can whip these, rows out pretty quickly. And I got a E, it's from this is a boy crochet hook, E 3.5 millimeter. And I figured I liked a little grabby thingy. I mean, it's mindless knitting is what it is. As long as it's growing out. Now it'll be pretty airy blanket. I mean, this is mostly sock weight, but I'm not limiting myself. I have another hook in here as well that'll handle some worsted or DK. So I just feel like it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be all kinds of textury and bumpy and all different yarns, and I have some ends to leave in. But again, when I get to the middle sections, when the rows are longer, I won't have so many. But I'll weave these in here soon. So that's what I'm doing for it's not really a Cozy Memories blanket, it's just a scrap yarn blanket. I'm doing the corner to corner, and if you YouTube it, there's a girl on there, and I want to say she's from England, maybe? I'm not sure, but has a very good tutorial on it. But I love it. And it's open. There's holies. It's almost like a granny square, but it's going in a different direction. So that's what I'm working on now, but that's just going to be really a super duper long term, not stash dashy. Not stash dashy at all. Now, I need to keep my scissor container in there as I'm cutting ends. So what am I working on future-wise? Because I need to cast on something today. I am casting on, so you ask, the Talisman Shawl by Helen Stewart. I joined the Shawl Society. This is the first pattern. It's called the Talisman. They have a little story behind it. This is in her typical pattern fashion. There's a checklist, you know, as you go. Tells you what % you're completed. You can mark off the rows as you go. How many stitches, so you'll know really quickly if you have messed up something. It comes in small, medium, and large. There is a chart for the border. I will tell you, I'm doing the large. And then there's a small lace border section. The large size is a two skein project. Here we go. And it will get up to 581 stitches. So that's a big shawl. I'm using, I'll show you the next time. I haven't caked it up yet, but it's some knit picks that I have. I'm trying to use up some of my older stuff. I mean, I don't have a huge stash by any means, but I don't like things languishing around. But it's mostly gray, and then there's little spots of pink. I thought that would be super fun in the winter with a big old pink, gray sweater and this fun shawl. Or it's going to be a gift. I have started my gift knitting, i.e. the hat. My next cast on is going to be a gift. So I'm going to make up some shawls that I think people will like, and then around Christmas time I can obviously reevaluate what's going on there. And the other thing I'm casting on is another hat. This one will not be stripy. It's for a boy, and he's a teenager, and it's he goes to Heath, which is outside of Ohio, or outside of about 20 minutes from where I live, half an hour. And this is bark and orange. And yes, these are the Cleveland Brown colors. However, they are also his school colors. So I think I'm going to do orange 2x2, brown body, orange and brown pom-pom. And I'll use the bigger pom-pom maker, which is, I use the Clover pom-pom makers. I got 4 different sizes. This one made the pom-pom that's on the stripy hat. But these are super easy. I mean, you literally wrap, snap it, cut second strings, wrap, until your whole middle is full here. You cut through the middle, tie a string. You have to cut all of your things. Open it up, comes apart, and you have a pom-pom. You just have to trim it up. So this is the size I used for that one. And this will be my next quick cast on purse knitting, card knitting. This shouldn't take long. Oh, it really is squishy yarn. And these are the Swish worsted, 50 grams, 110 yards. So I'll have plenty for another hat. And then the boy is done. And this will be in my summer knitting bag that I made last summer. Oh, and it has Lake Life. And there's a sweet little, I think it's a black lab, canoeing, and some fishing, and there's a camper. It's just super fun. And then I have my little progress keepers in case I need them. And I have my 16-inch red lace Cowtown size US 6 and a set of size US 6 DPNs for the when I do the head reduction. I don't have a lot of stash enhancement as far as purchases go, although I don't know what I'm going to use these for, but I was at Joann, and I would tell you my cat is black and white. Mostly black, white bellyish, but the buttons are the cutest darn thing. And this cat is so playing with the ball of yarn. Oh, crazy. Crazy. Super cute. So I got 2 little buttons. I don't know what I'll use them on. Something. Maybe a bag. Maybe. I don't know. They were just cute, and I decided that I needed them. So I bought those. And then, what did you trim that? My mom has a walker that she uses. And so I make her little bags for different times of the year. She has a Christmas bag. She has what's a Dr. Seuss Christmas bag, a Buckeyes bag, and she, wanted something else. So when I was in New York, I didn't really know what to get her because really she needs nothing. So I bought some fabric to make at Mood, when we went to Mood, and I showed it back in June. When did we go? February? I don't remember, but I showed it. And I'm still kind of working out some stuff for bags. So it was going to be a walker bag for, this is not it, but this is the fabric I bought, which is the blue. It's just so pretty. And then I was like, this is going to so be my 4th of July bag. So I went and I wanted to try, this is the Grosgain ribbon at the top, stitch it down. And I had some of this ribbon at the house, some anchors. And then on the inside, it has just some stars with some silver glitter. I do love me some glitter. I did not make hers as festive, although I did line hers with this fabric, and it's reversible, so we can flip it for the 4th. She did not get this, or a little dangly bit. So what I did, the fabric that we purchased, I think it's like a shirting fabric, so it was pretty thin. So I bought some interfacing and ironed it on just to give it a little more oomph, because this, again, I can stand it up. It stands up. And then it's a typical drawstring. And that's my little 4th of July bag, and I love it. It's so cute. And I think I have some progress keepers that I need to hang outside that are stars or something. Something fun. Maybe I can find an anchor. So I made this one, and then I had purchased this fabric a very long time ago, and I hadn't done anything with it, so I wanted a new bag, and I wanted to use it. So I sewed this up. It's just super pretty, summery, suede. Beautiful girl, some castles. It's probably not castles, but that's what I'm gonna call them. And then I lined this one with some just some green calico. The lighting in here is terrible today. There we go. Some green, and I bought, this is 1.5 inch Grosgain on here, and I literally trimmed it. And then I melted the edges so it doesn't fray, and I just stitched it down, and I made a pocket. And this is a little larger. This is going to hold my shawl, I believe, because I think this will hold 2 cakes and a shawl, for sure. I'm going to cake them up when I'm done here so I can cast on tonight and get started, because I believe this is going to, for this one I'll get 4. I need to read. I haven't gotten the email yet. But I need to read up on it. Yeah, so it'll be fun. And that's all I've got today. Look at me, 33 minutes, chatty Cathy that I am. So, I'm not sure if I'll be back next week. Let's see how much I get finished this week, what next week look like. I'm working. In the summer, it might be every other week. It may be every week. It won't, hopefully not go beyond 2 weeks. We'll see. Follow me on Instagram. You'll know, well, you'll probably know more about my life than you really wanted to know, but that's how I roll. Hey, have a great week. Happy knitting, and I hope you don't have to frog anything. Have a good one. Bye.